Hey guys, Cage. Oh man, it's an amazing night. This is a cage paradise. 55 degrees. Dark. It's awesome. Best night ever. Alright, so there's the reason why I am here. Alright, I tried doing this early on in the day, and I didn't have enough time to. So, Javelin. Alright. Now, after my last video, I've had a lot of compliments on it. Thanks, you guys. E-Rock, one of you, is one that actually complimented me. So it was a big ego boost right there. I love compliments. Just means that I'm doing stuff right now. So, but not allowed the pride to get to my head. So, but I do want to make a video of the Javelin because a lot of people are talking about saber staffs and single sabers. Not a lot of people talk about the saber staff themselves as a Javelin. So, I will do that. And forgive me if my batteries die. These batteries are literally over a month old. So they might die, okay? Anyways, the Javelin, like a single saber, the weight's to the front so it can act like a single saber in that retrospect when you're attacking with this. However, with blocking, using it this way, just like the single saber, all the weight's to the back because of the longer blade and the extended hilt on the backside, making it heavier. So blocking it feels the same. However, everything is a little wider, just like the saber staff. You're not into the normal functions of your body because you can see, if I back up here, if I try to use it like a normal saber, I'm going to hit myself in undesirable places. So, anyways, that's why I am going to go over this, because even though that we are all accustomed to those two styles, it might be good to accustom yourself with a variety of these sabers. Alright, E-Rock, you know, he started the Great Saber. Those things are massively heavy. I have tried it before. And I'm still going to make a video about my Great Saber staff, just when I get around to that. So, anyways, the Javelin is a great saber for defense and offense, mainly for the fact of, unlike a saber staff, it doesn't have equal ends, making it heavier on one side, just like a single saber, making it easier to do what I think, anyways, spins. Okay? And here's the reason why. You're letting the momentum of the blade judge everything. So let me go ahead and turn this on for you. As always, it's red. So, yeah, I mean, the momentum of the bigger blade carries everything. So, I mean, if I want to, you know, spin it. Normally, if I spin, I'm going to spin it with this end, though. Here's why. Actually, you know what? Messed up there, sorry. I keep crossing my body when I shouldn't, but anyways, you're supposed to spin. You're not supposed to bend your elbow like that. Okay, that's a big no-no. So this way we can actually understand that now. So don't do that. So that's why it's probably best to start with the shorter blade. Spin it full circle, spin it full circle, spin it full circle, full circle, circle, full circle. And that's why you start with the shorter blade. Sorry, I was confusing myself there by using the longer blade. I was saying, why wasn't this working? So, anyways, back to this. Using a, oh, it was my keys. I heard something. Thought someone was behind me. Anyways, Using this, the attacks and the defense is completely different than a single saber and a saber staff. When I say completely, I don't mean entirely. There's a difference there. Alright? Because you can still get into the motions here of your defensive maneuvers and also your attack maneuvers like a Shicho. So you can still get that going. I mean, you can still do the Surisu spins, you know. I mean, you can still do all that like a single saber. I mean, I showed you can spin it like a saber staff, you know. But why is the attacks and defense different? It's because, unlike the saber staff, you don't have to go as wide with it, okay? So, with this here, with the saber staff, normally you'll have to go completely on the outside, so like this, alright? But with the javelin, you can stay closer into your body, okay? Now, you're probably like, oh, wait a minute, same hilt, same size, that ain't gonna matter. It does matter, actually. Because with it being extended, if you do it at the right angle, alright, if I go down like this, if this blade was longer, I could possibly hit my shoulder. So then I'm misusing everything. So then I would have to, I wouldn't be able to follow through with my attack there. So if I do this, alright, if I had a longer blade on the back end, alright, if I went down too low, I just hit myself. Alright, with it being like this, alright, I can still get in the way I want to. With it being shorter on this end though, it makes the backside much more vulnerable, you think. Actually not as vulnerable as you'll think. With the backside being so much smaller, it helps for the spins, especially across your back. Okay. If you take it and you start over on this side and you go to spin, so we do it right now, spin, come across my back, you see the short end's on top. Spin, unrelease, and the short side's on the top again. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is because I follow a step what I call repetitions. Okay? You have half a turn, you have yourself a full turn. Okay? You can make a 180-degree spin or complete 360. The complete 360 spin will land the longer blade out front, your front end out front. Good for attacks. However, your right hand also comes into play there. So if I start here, I take my saber, I'm going to do a spin. Alright. See, that's two spins. Now, if I were to do it like this, however, okay, starting here, take my step, spin, I spin it, and I grab. It's all about how I grab. I can grab down and grab the top blade. Alright? Not the blade itself. See, I'm still grabbing the hilt. So I can still grab it. So I can still go behind my back. But as you saw there, it was a little more difficult. Why is that? Because of the long blade. Alright? If I go with the shorter end first, like this, I don't have that problem. Why? Why indeed? Gravity and physics. Okay? Martial arts is based on this stuff. Alright? You may think people weren't that smart back then. Think again. If I take it and I spin it right now, like this, you see, I do a double repetition as I spin like that. Spin like this, and spin again. Alright? I come up with the blade on top, right? But I hit myself in the back. Why? Physics. Okay? I kept it further away from my body. Alright? Keeping it at certain angles. If I take the shorter end and do it, I can keep it closer to my back and still do it, instead of having to go way out back. Because the weight of the back blade, or the front blade, is actually keeping it straighter and a little more fluid when I spin it. So all the weight wants to go straight down with gravity. Now with physics, the momentum wants to carry it. So obviously when I spin it, come across, alright, I can do things that normally I couldn't do. Now you see there, I end with the blade on top. Now if I do it with the long blade first, I call it the short blade. Double repetitions, single repetitions is all coming into play here now, okay? So, and I did miss one step. If I'm starting on my right hand and I do a double repetition, which is 2 360-degree spins, yeah, I can come out with the blade up front, even though I started with the short blade. So, sorry, I forgot to tell you that, okay? So, it's a quad repetition, okay? Which is you step, spin entirely, behind your back, spin again, spin, strike. So, but yeah, so you see all this stuff coming into play now, okay? So with gravity and physics, I've now known what I can do, okay? The capabilities, all right? It's good to know these points of your saber. You don't have to necessarily know physics, you just need to know your saber. And knowing my saber that the weight's all down here, I know that the blade is down at the bottom while I'm spinning behind my back. I keep it close without worrying about hitting myself. Otherwise, when I'm spinning it, it's on top, I have to keep it further away. So, it's good to know where this part is. This is the key. This is the key. The long blade is the key. Okay? You might go, well, what's the short blade? The short blade's not the key. What's it do? I'll show you that. Alright? Single repetition. Behind the back. Block. Okay? And if I have my long blade and I come up, I try to block, my problem with this is that because the short blade ends at a finer area than the longer blade does, if I hold this at an angle, it's going to be a wider away from my body, so I have to pull it in to get closer to my body. With this, I don't have to worry about that. It's closer in already. So, it's great for defense, okay, because it's closer into my body. And it gives me a better reaction time than way out here, okay? Because if I try to block, attack like this, it comes a little more harder. So, it's better to use the short blade for defense, so that way you can go block, spin attack, okay? Now you see me slide my foot like this, okay? Now, balance is key, so you need to get into your stance, and that's what I'm doing here. So when I do this, even with one hand, I'm preparing in my stance here, okay? Now this attack here isn't really an attack. It's more of a fend off. So I'm scaring them off real quick. Normally that doesn't work, but for someone who's untrained with the stuff, if you do that, you're in your stance now. You're a little more comfortable. You can either stab at this point, or if you're in your stance here, you can either keep blocking, switching to an attack, like a saber staff. So there's all types of finer points here, okay? And in my video, my 44-second video of my form, you can see that I make a cone around my body. You're like, I don't actually see that. How do you do that? I don't see you going, woo. No, I'm not doing that. Using the short blade, I make the high point of where my saber is going to be at. Alright? Even my long blade, even when I do that, it's going to follow that same path. No matter what. Okay? It's never going to breach that high point. So, my high point is just about a foot above my head. Okay? I never leave that high. So about 7 feet is my high point. Okay? What happens is that on my video, you see me doing the back behind the spin here, coming up and doing some other things, you know, like maybe an attack or a block or something. But I'm also doing this, what I call a sweep, all right? Which is where I end from here, okay? In a position like this, I come from the side, and I sweep across like this to here, then I come up like this, or I even stab, okay? This is making a cone defense around me, allowing me better reaction time for this blade down here for an attack. All right, if I'm sweeping here to be able to block my inside, all right, I'm able to then create a barrier basically in front of me. You're like, a barrier? That's not impossible because it's a saber staff. Okay, take this for example. I throw a rock, you throw a knife. What's going to hit first, the knife or the rock? Well, that depends. Who's smarter to get out of the way? The guy that's getting the knife targeted at, or the guy that's getting the rock thrown at? If I'm throwing a rock and I'm hitting you and I'm aiming for your head, I can seriously hurt you or kill you. A knife, I know it's going to kill me. I'm going to step out of the way. A rock coming at you, you might not step out of the way, but I know you are. So, but my point is that in the hands of a mastery level or a higher up, such as that nature, the barrier of their weapon is created by how far out they're able to reach. Not so much as this, but reach comfortably, like this, okay? This would be my barrier right here, but I am wanting to keep a close-in barrier for my body. And that's where that cone shape comes into play. This is where it's keeping the front roundness here. Now, you saw me when I did the backspin. When I did it, I spun it, and I leaned down. You're probably like, why'd you lean down like that? That's also finishing up my cone. My cone is about this wide this way, and probably about the same width this way. I want the cone wider in my back though. My backside's my weakest point. It's going to be my weakest point. Just like the Romans, you know, their backside was the weak point. All the defense was in the front. That's why my backspin's so wide when I do it, because even if I need a block, I can still block comfortably. I can unwind my body and come into a stance, okay? Now, with this, it comes with a lot of flexibility, not in your legs. You do want to be flexible there, but more so in your upper springs. You want your springs of your body in the upper part of your body, like your shoulders, your elbows. You know, you want all that to be able to be flexible, but also powerful. So, if I'm sitting here and I come up and I step, stab, okay? I want to keep this away from my body, but because I use my springs of my body, when I step and stab like this, it creates a more powerful stab. If I'm standing still like this and doing it like this, it's not creating a lot of power. But if I step and stab, there's more power. And yeah, these blades, they do wiggle. So, but that's also me too, so pinpoint accuracy is very hard to get. And a stab especially. So your stab's not going in the same spot twice. Guarantee you that. But that's the key point, you know, about this though, is that step and the springs of your body creating that motion and that power, okay? You want to do this. It's going to look quick too when you fully do it. You're going to want to shift your body weight forward. You're going to need a back stance, okay? What I mean by back stance is that all your weight's going to your back leg right now. And then you take your body and you push with that back leg. So I'm going to push my back leg and step, okay? That's going to give my upper body that extra oomph that I need. All your strength's in your legs, okay? No matter what you're doing. So, that's another key thing. Let's see here. Now, some of this can be actually taken to with a staff. However, with the staff, I've learned that a longer blade makes it a lot harder because, like I said, this right here, holding it like this, blade's going out for me, I have to hold it in closer. If I did that with this, right now I held it in closer, it's not going to wear me too much, alright? But if I had this longer blade, it's going to wear me. Because then it's extending further on, and the angle's getting closer and closer to here, to my face. And I'm not so much worried about my face, that's not what it is. What it is another thing, geometry. If I'm aiming right now, I just move 1 inch. Let's say I had a gun. I move just 1 inch. That's just it, just 1 inch. Alright, I'm gonna hit my target, I'm gonna miss my target. But the difference of it is that if I take it, my hands right now, and if I do this, a V, start at the same position, but look, totally different ends. You know, they start at the same position. It's the angle of which they're going in. Makes a greater distance from each other. So if I'm having this, it's making a greater distance, you think, from away from my face. But because I'm holding it in like this, creating a closer distance to my face because I'm holding it tighter to me. Versus this, it's not making that great angle. So, definitely need to watch out there. So, that's why I use the Javelin for defense and offense. It's a combination, okay? A front, backhand, sidestepping, front stepping, stabbing, staff blocking, spins. It's a combination of everything that I know. And it's this weapon right here that I really, really love to use. So, I feel more comfortable with it. I've been using this thing, oh God, how long has it been? I know it was earlier on this year that I customized it this way. So, but anyways, to use this, it doesn't take a whole lot of skill. It doesn't take a whole lot of brains. All it's going to take is just awareness. Be aware where this is. Don't have to worry about where this is. I mean, still be aware. Alright? Don't forget this. But be aware more so where this is. This is your key to everything you need to know about this saber. Okay? Because on a single saber, we need to know where the back end is. Because all the way up here, if we're using that front blade, if we know the pommel's sticking up this way, we know the blade's going to end down here. Vice versa, it's sticking down, we know the blade's going to end up there. So, with this, alright, we don't need to worry so much about that because we're going to be able to see that back blade. So, retrospect, it's going to be okay for that. So, we're not going to be worried too much about where this front blade's going to end up when you attack because you can see the back blade. But definitely be more so worried of your spins, okay? Because like I said, if this bottom blade is the first thing to go across your back on the lower end, this top end will more likely hit you first. So you would have to hold your arms out wider. It's not so bad, but to be a little more comfortable, a little more safer about it, I mean, it's definitely a good choice to have this in the bottom. So just remember that's the key, and yeah, I'm just going to do a slow demo of something here. So that's what I call the turnabout. It's just 2 motions to end in the same stance you start off with. So, but anyways, what you see there is a wide stance. So, I know I'm talking a lot, but it's good to know this stuff. So, I just want you to get this stance down here. You're going to start with your right hand, your left foot's your lead foot. You're your stance is going to look something like this. Maybe not so wide, but it's going to look something like this even. Okay? I'm a big guy. My stance is going to be wider than yours probably. So, definitely going to be a wide stance with this. Alright? So, but that's me. That's how I've done this. So, if you got any more questions about it, let me know. If you want to see some more of it, let me know. I'm going to start creating some more things to this. And I mean creating, I mean doing some more flashy moves if I can. So, yeah, if you want to see something special with this, let me know. I like doing weird, crazy things. So, just let me know.